Whisper it quietly. We are really good. Hello and welcome back to part 11 of this FM22 Watford beta playthrough. Before we jump into the games then, if you are enjoying this series, be sure to hit that like button, and if you're new around here, hit subscribe. It would mean the world. Played a ton of games since we last met, where we got that impressive 3-1 win over Atletico Madrid, and then we drew with Chelsea. We followed those games up with a 2-0 win over Partizan. Francisco and Petkovic getting the goals. Your sense of theme throughout, unsurprisingly, we're still really good from corners. Quaisance, ball in. Francisco, just unmarked, wins it. And in the second half then, Vanderson into Sarr, back to him. Him and Sarr have a really nice link up. Sarr gets all the way across. Not sure why Petkovic slides, but 2-0. That result puts us in a really good spot in the group in the Europa League. Dominating performance, 3.25. Perhaps could be a bit disappointed we only scored 2. Following that game against Partizan, we lost 2-1 at home to Newcastle. Bit of a disappointing one, to be honest. We were played off the park in this one. Newcastle took the lead after 35 minutes. We had a couple of chances before, but we just couldn't make it. It's a really good finish from Denis Suarez as well. William Carvalho have a good ball over the top, who actually scores the second for them as well. We got ourselves back on level terms in a really good breakaway. Pedro, just Sarr's completely unmarked. Nobody can track him. It's got to a point now where anyone goes forward, I kind of feel like they're going to score one-on-one for us. Late into the second half then, bit of a weird one. William Carvalho, it's a great finish. I just don't know why he's unmarked at that near post. You can see from the stats then, we perhaps feel a bit hard done by in that one, but during the game, we didn't deserve anything from it, to be honest. Since that Newcastle game then, you'll see pretty clearly there's a game in there that stands out a lot, but we have been in incredible form. We went away to the Netherlands then to play Al Malmo, where we won 4-0. Troost-Ekong and a hat-trick from Petkovic. Petkovic has been in incredible form in the Europa League so far for us. Him and Pedro have proved really good rotational options. Another early corner then, Quaisance into Ekong. You know the routine by now. Very easy. More work down the right. Torre and Dennis this time seemingly have a good combination, as does Vanderson and Sarr. Dennis, Petkovic just wins headers all day. Really good header into the top corner. Nava cross then from Quaisance to Zoko. Unbelievable finish from Petkovic off the post. Just feels like every time we have a chance going forward, it ends in the back of the net. I don't know if Football Manager's craving goals again this year like it did last year. Quaisance on the edge and back post. Dennis completely unmarked. Kind of just hits Petkovic, but I'm sure he won't mind with a hat-trick. And then from the stats, dominated. They didn't have a shot on target all game. Interestingly, we actually had more possession in this one. You'll see in a minute that that is not a theme of how we've been playing this season. After that win then, it was a 3-2 win over Everton. This one we actually did not deserve to win at all. Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin on the score sheet for Everton. Francisco, Vera, Lozek. Vera's goal in this is so good that I had to bring you it anyway. Unsurprisingly then, another corner. Francisco, it's just silly. I'm not going to change it because it's an avenue for goals for us, but they then scored themselves from one, so this does happen, worth bearing in mind. Davis then fires one over. I'm a bit annoyed he won that header. Richarlison brings it down, across. Calvert-Lewin scoring from inside the 6-yard box is what Calvert-Lewin does. Quaisance again, set piece, loops one over to Dennis. I thought the chance was probably going to be gone, but Vera then gets it back and just curls one into that far corner. It's so good. We'll watch that one again. There is Vera into Dennis, gets it back and just whips it round. It's such a good finish. Looked really good in the match engine. And then finally, Vanderson, who's been incredible down that side. Dennis fires it across to Lozek, smashes it home and completed the turnaround. As I say then, completely did not deserve to score 3 in this one, didn't deserve to win this one. I think we're just in such good form at the minute and throughout this whole time that even when we're not doing well in games, I feel like we're going to pick something up, whether that's a draw or a win. Following our trip to Everton, we then went away to Leicester where we won 2-1. João Pedro in the double again. He has been in ridiculous form so far for us. Iberieze then fires it back. Good signing for Leicester, I think, in my opinion. It's just not dealt with ever. It's really poor defending. Albrighton gets it, smashes it near post. There's a lot wrong with that defensively. Shock as we score from a corner. Troost-Ekong doesn't actually go directly in this time. Quaisance drops it back to João Pedro at the back post, who just climbs above everyone. Vanderson has been so good in this channel. Digs one out. João Pedro's there again. Headers are just broken in this game, it feels. Deserved winners in this one, though, 1.94. We rack up a lot of XG in these games. Other than that Everton one, I think we average around 2, which is really good to see. We're making a lot of good chances. So our third away trip in a row, we went away to Wolves. 0-0 in this one, bit disappointing. As you can see from the team, Simic and Petkovic, Kutesa, who's not featured a lot. We're kind of having to rotate a bit now. And 0-0, we probably could have won it, but we had a couple of injuries in it as well, which were disappointing. But we've been in such good form that I'm not upset with the draw at all. This one's just silly. I don't know what to tell you about this one. We won 9-0 against Al Malmo at home. I'll run you through the stats first, I suppose. 40 shots, 20 on target, 5.53 XG, which is silly high. Petkovic scored 5, Anderson scored, Siriota got a goal and an assist. We then brought on Troost-Ekong, who picked up a goal as well from centre-half. Just silly. And the best thing about it all, 39% possession. Don't really know what happened in this one. I just sort of watched it on autopilot and could not believe what I was watching. Toure into Sissoko, then 2 players that don't normally feature. Diggs went out, keeper misses it, Petkovic is there. Set pieces were incredible in this one. Francisco gets up, Petkovic tap in. Another set piece, Quaisance. First one for the centre halves, Francisco meets it. Shock, it's another set piece. Anderson this time at the near post. Toure now on the right. Again, our right back just seemingly always has so much space. Diggs on a cross, Petkovic brings it down. Kutesa gets his first goal for the club, who's not even featured that much. Petkovic in from the spot, cool as you like. Sissoko bombing forward, plays in Petkovic. Touch, blocked, gets the rebound, keeper just stands still. Not the best advert for the FM match engine for a lower down team in Al Melmo. Petkovic again, header. I don't even know what to say anymore. Andreas, who's been featuring a lot, finds a con. Andreas has been pretty impressive so far. Followed up that 9-0 with a 3-0 win at home against Brentford. Ismail Assar, João Pedro at the double again, having not even featured against Al Momo in that 9-0 win. Our first goal actually came from kickoff. Janelt gives the ball away to Sarr, who drives, finds Pedro, who works himself into that left channel. I thought it was just going to be a opening highlight, but finds Richards into Andreas, who digs one out. Sarr at the back post, heads in. I feel like as long as they're tall in this game, they'll win the headers. The amount of goals João Pedro and Sarr pick up who aren't particularly... The amount of headers we score, even players who aren't that tall, or headers that we win in like key areas, seems to be a bit too much at the minute. Obviously, headers from corners are extremely broken as well. I think hopefully with the new game coming out next Monday, Football Manager will address this. Fingers crossed anyway. So after scoring within 22nd, it took until an hour before we got our second goal. Started with a chance for Brentford as well. Livakovic with one long kick. I believe it clears the defence somehow. Not the best defending from Brentford. Pedro runs through, goes round the goalie and taps home 2-0. Anderson then driving out in the 75th minute. What you want to see from your ball player. Finds Ismail Assar. Gets his cross in. João Pedro fires into the top. Again, not great defending there from Brentford. Match stats again. Dominated. Played really well. Just in this ridiculous vein of form. So we then followed that up with an away trip to Atletico where we won 3-0. I don't even know. This Watford team is broken and seemingly playing out of their skin at the minute. I had planned on bringing you this one, but after the 9-0 win, we'd already qualified from our group. So we'd already qualified from the group. We had good goal difference and a good head-to-head already against Atletico, so I just wanted to play through it. We are going to play Partizan and finish the group today, but I didn't see the point in bringing you another Atletico Madrid game when we'd already qualified. As mentioned, we won 3-0. Petkovic, Troost-Ekong, João Pedro. Danny Rose started the move then. He got a rare game. Kutesa playing again. Sissoko getting a game. Petkovic playing. Great ball from Denis Zakaria into Petkovic. 1-0. Really nicely worked goal just after half-time. Unsurprisingly, it's a set piece. Quaisance finds Troost-Ekong. Shock, I know. And then a good breakaway from us. Petkovic, Kutesa link up well. It's a good ball over the top to João Pedro, and he just never feels like he's going to miss at the minute. There you are then, all caught up after all of that. We're going to play Brighton and Partizan today. We then have Leeds and Liverpool, and then it goes on this winter break. So with the game coming out Monday, I'm trying to race through as much as I can to finish this season, because this will be the end of the save. Before I bring you the first main save on the FM Quinny channel, these are on screen somewhere now. So after all of them results, admittedly a lot in the Europa League, we sit in 6th still. The top 6 this year are playing really well. There's a slight gap between us and 8th, but it's going to be hard to replicate a 6th place finish after how well these top 6 are already playing. Here's how the team's going to line up against Brighton. A couple of fitness concerns, so I've had to bring in a few players here and there. Livakovic being goal, Vanderson. Francisco is going to be partnered by Troost-Ekong because Anderson is tired and I don't want to risk him. Omar Richards at left back. Vera will be in that half back role. Denis Zakaria in the ball winning role. We're actually going to play Andreas in the advanced playmaker role. He can play there, and Quaisance is injured and playing so much at the minute that I don't really want to risk him. Ismail Assar on the right. Lozek, who you won't have heard the name of in any of those because he's been injured for about 2 months. He's now fit and going to come back in on this left-hand side. We have Kutesa on the bench, and we can rearrange Andreas into there and rearrange the midfield if we need to. Pedro's going to lead the line. Petkovic will be on the bench. I really feel for Rocco Simic. I was looking forward to using him this year, but with how good Petkovic fits into how this game plays, with his jumping reach, strength, exceptional heading, I just can't play Rocco Simic because Petkovic is such a threat in the air, and that's seemingly a really good way of getting goals this year. Here we go, then we get underway at Brighton. 17th place in the league. After all that good form and running you through all them, I'm fully anticipating a loss here because that is how Football Manager likes to operate. Anderson and Sarr linking up early in this game into Dennis, who lofts one over to Lozek. We're going to have an early chance here. Richards in loads of space, just got to cross it. Just feels like you have to cross it. Actually gets a block in, which is not something Football Manager do often. Corner kick though, no croissants. Ismaila Sarr's going to take it. Delivers to that near post, it's cleared. And Tarek Lamptey will bring it away for Brighton. And he'll keep going to the edge of our box. And Vera's brought him down. That's going to be a penalty inside 2 minutes. Oh, why? Penalty awarded then. Brighton are likely going to take the lead here. I haven't seen many penalties saved this year, I feel like. Apart from in shootouts specifically. Trossard then fires in. Livakovic doesn't even dive. That's what you want to see from your goalkeeper. Here we go then. You see it again then here. Livakovic stands and turns a little bit. That's not good goalkeeping. Ismaila Sarr now from a corner. Francisco's up, heads over. It does feel like every time we play a Europa League game, we go into the next league game really sluggishly. That Europa League hangover. Nothing to report at half-time then. Penalty early on. Set the tone for Brighton, and we've had 2 corner highlights since. Really disappointing. Quite a few tired legs out there as well. Just the one change at half-time then. Mr. Sissoko's going to come on for Dennis Zakaria. Freshen up in there. He is tired. It looks like Ismaila Sarr and Pedro are going to have to be our final 2 substitutes as well because they're not going to last the 90. Nearly 70 minutes in then, absolutely nothing has happened since. Ismaila Sarr is going to come off for Kutesa. Pedro's going to come off for Petkovic and we'll play him in his favoured deep line forward role. Nothing's happening for us in this one. Enter the final 15 minutes now. Statistically, we've come back into it, but there's not been a single highlight to suggest otherwise. Vera's won it high. Sissoko now finds Lozek. Can he slip in Petkovic? Petkovic is in to equalise and does. Big goal. 12th goal of the season for Petkovic. Finally, we make a bit of our dominance count. Vera does really well to win it high. Sissoko keeps it simple. Lozek is just praying if he'd make that pass, and thankfully he does. Interesting goalkeeping as well. Final knock-ins of the game now. It looks like Brighton might have a chance to win it at the death. Trossard in midfield. Trying to play out from defence. He's given it away to Andreas, who's launched it forward to nobody. Webster's going to play it back, and Brighton get a chance to build from the back again. Good ball out to Morelos, who I'm assuming is the Rangers one. Great ball into Trossard. Akon cuts out well. Musa Sissoko, Lozek. Trying to find Petkovic. Really poor balls forward. We've had a couple of chances where we could have made something happen from this, but I think it's going to be Brighton to come forward again. Trossard slips in Lauren. Oh, it's off the bar. What a finish. Killer. Brighton will get all 3 points. That wraps it up then. 2-1 Brighton on the day. You can see we came back into it a lot. Lots of shots on target. Didn't create enough good chances with it. It's a really good finish at the end. We didn't get a replay for some reason. Looks like Brighton went heavy on striker reinforcements. Loren and Morelos up front. Another game where we've not performed after Europa League. The win against Everton springs to mind. Even though we won that game, we saw from the stats, did not deserve to at all. So Arsenal's loss actually means we went up into 5th. United, Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal and Chelsea all have games in hand on us. Arsenal and Chelsea could leapfrog us if they win theirs. Leeds have a game in hand. If they win that, they'll go a point behind us. But we're in a good spot for this top 7 finish. So as we're already qualified in top and it's the last game, I'm going to bring in a few different players. Musasoka's going to play in the half-back role. Torre's going to get a run out. Rose is going to get a run out. Anderson's going to come back in and partner Francisco, which is our starting centre-halves. Dennis is going to play for Ismaila Sarr. Lozek still needs the fitness, so I'm going to keep him in for now, but we'll probably bring on Andreas at some point. Petkovic, who's been Mr. Europa League so far, is going to start up front. Petkovic gets us underway then at home. Final Europa League group game. Let's hope we can bounce back after that Brighton result with a win. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. I wish I'd have brought you the Atletico Madrid game now. Nothing of note in that half at all. Not a single highlight. We are not having any of the ball. I think I've seen a few people mention on Twitter, if you want to follow me, my link's in the description, complain about lesser teams and when you're playing them, their defenders will keep the ball for the sake of keeping the ball. The pass completion is exceptionally high from Partizan here. 406 passes made in that first half. And I think if I looked at the pass map, you would see a lot of passes between the back line. So as you can see from 417 passes completed, it's very heavily based in their own half. 3 pops up a lot, 9 pops up a lot. Don't know, something to think about. I'm trying to avoid lights out pressing because every year that seems to be the way forward and we don't really do it. We have a higher line, we press slightly more, but I often change that and don't press as much because it tires the players and I want to manage that as best I can. As we start the second half then, Lozek is tired. I'm going to get Andreas on. just come on as the inverted winger rather than inside forward because that's what he likes. Been impressed with him. He's started his career at Watford a lot better and playing a lot more than I envisioned him doing. Manuel Dennis is having a really poor game after about 2 months off as well, so the likelihood is we'll get Ismail Assar or João Pedro on at some point. Finally, a highlight 52 minutes in, down the left-hand side then. Quaison, Sissoko into Dennis. We're camped in their halves. Our centre-backs are so high up now. Dennis Akaya into Francisco. So much space out here for Torre. You feel like if he crosses it, Pekovic will be on the end of it. There he is. It's over the bar. First and only highlight so far. An hour in then, Dennis is on a 6.2. He's actually gotten worse. Ismail Assar can come on. Been in good form. Hopefully he can create something for us in this game. Approaching the 70-minute mark now. Partizan have a rare highlight in our half. Don't think they yet to register a shot on target. Johnson into Ricardo. Into Nacho. Johnson. I think you can see from these passes, this is the start of the highlight. Like they've gone all the way back to the goalkeeper. I feel like outside of the highlights, this is happening a lot, where they're just keeping it for the sake of possession. They go along, Rose intercepts on Andreas now. Can we break? It's a great ball into Ismail Assar. Finds Petkovic. Good link up between them two. Andreas now could use Rose and does. Finds Andreas again. Gets it squared. I think it's an own goal. I think... look at your name. He scored an own goal. Good for him. And it's 1-0 Watford. Not been the best game for us by any means, but I think this would give us a perfect record in the Europa League, which is very surprising. Deep into Partizan's territory now. Rose digs one up back post. Petkovic should win it and does. Sava's just not ever facing the right way. It's a good header down, but we build again. Sissoko, Quaison digs one out to Sarr. Actually looking at the ball this time. Gets it across. Oh, and he's turned it away. Defender's not scored an own goal this time. And Quaison will deliver a corner. Francisco gets up and it's over. So we approach the final 5 minutes then. Lots of tired legs out there. Just going to swap Dennis Zakaria and Sissoko off and bring on Vera for the final 5. We'll also make some changes, slow the game down entirely and kill this game off, hopefully. Final kicks of the game then. Quaison to the back post. Petkovic is up. It's well held by the keeper. This could be a chance for Partizan to nick a point. Jovic now into Ricardo. Partizan nick a point here and still our 100% record in the last game with the last kick. I'm going to be fuming. And there he is. Oh, what a save! No, it's a goal kick. Take it all back. Sorry, Dominic. No praise for you. There we have it then, full-time 1-0. We complete our 100% European record. We played well. That was our only shot on target. Played well in this one. They scored for us, which is a bit annoying, but we did enough in the game to deserve the win. Just the one shot on target from Partizan. Very happy with our opening Europa League campaign. There we are then. That's going to wrap things up for today. As always, if you have enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe if you're new. Leave a comment down below. Let me know how you're getting on. Quite deep into the beta now. Let me know how you're getting on. So as mentioned, then we've got this big winter break because of the Qatar World Cup. I'm trying to get this season done before the end of the weekend because I do want to finish this save. Because of the way the Europa League works now, because we finished first, we're actually going at the second knockout round, which isn't until March. So I think next time around when we come back, then I think I'll bring you the Everton and the second round knockout. I'm 90% sure it's two-legged, so obviously I'll bring you Everton and both legs. As mentioned then, with it coming to the end of the beta, it will be very Europa League heavy based because the Europa League is now the main thing in this save. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.